Envy. The emotion we're all supposed to pretend doesn't exist. We're fine with admiration, inspiration, good for them energy, but envy, that's ugly petty, the mark of a small person with a smaller life. Except, everyone feels it. We've just convinced ourselves that admitting it makes us terrible people. So we rename it, I'm inspired by their success. I'm motivated by their achievements. I'm happy for them. Are you, though? Or are you just performatively positive whilst your nervous system quietly screams, why not me? This is Overthinking Department, where we don't do emotional bypassing. Let's talk about envy, the real kind, the uncomfortable kind, the kind nobody admits to at dinner parties. Envy has terrible PR. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. It's painted green with bitterness. It's associated with spite, resentment, and people who can't be happy for others. And sure, unchecked envy can be destructive, but so can unchecked anything. The problem isn't feeling envy. The problem is that we've pathologized it to the point where people would rather lie than admit they feel it. I'm so happy for them. Are you? Or are you performing happiness because that's what emotionally mature people are supposed to do? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Envy is information. It's your brain highlighting a gap between where you are and where you want to be. When you see someone living a life you want, your nervous system doesn't respond with philosophical calm. It responds with, why them and not me? That's not evil, that's human. But we've been taught that good people don't feel envy. Good people are happy for others, supportive, generous. Good people transcend base emotions and radiate pure, selfless joy at other people's success. Bollocks. Good people feel envy and choose not to act maliciously because of it. There's a difference. One wise bloke said, envy is the art of counting someone else's blessings instead of your own. Lovely sentiment, completely missing the point. Because envy isn't about blessings, it's about possibility. When you envy someone, you're not coveting their life. You're recognizing that they have something you believe you could have, but don't. That's the sting. If you see someone with the life you genuinely don't want, you don't feel envy. You feel nothing. Maybe mild curiosity, but if you see someone with something you do want, something you've been working toward, trying for, hoping for, and they have it whilst you don't, that's when envy shows up, and it shows up loudly. The Stoics had thoughts on this. They believed comparison is suffering, that the only person you should measure yourself against is who you were yesterday. Sound advice, impossible in practice. Because we live in a world designed for comparison, social media is a highlight reel. LinkedIn is a performance of success. Even casual conversations are littered with updates, achievements, milestones. We bought a house. I got promoted. We're expecting. And if you're not there yet, if you're still renting, still job hunting, still single, still trying, every announcement feels like a reminder of what you don't have. That's not bitterness, that's pattern recognition. Your brain is simply noticing they progressed, you didn't. And it's wondering why. Here's the bit nobody wants to hear. Envy is worse when you feel like you deserve what they have. Not in an entitled way, in a, I worked just as hard, tried just as long, did everything right way. You see someone succeed at something you've been failing at, and the question isn't good for them. The question is, what did they do that I didn't? Sometimes the answer is nothing. They just got lucky. Right place, right time, right circumstances, and that's infuriating. Because we're raised on meritocracy, work hard, and you'll succeed. Do the right things, and you'll be rewarded. Except that's not how it works. Luck plays a role, privilege plays a role, timing plays a role, and sometimes people get things you don't, not because they earned it more, but because the universe just handed it to them. That's not fair. And recognizing that isn't bitterness, it's honesty. Envy isn't evil. It's just your brain processing inequality and wondering why you're on the losing side of it. So, you feel envy. Now what? Option 1, suppress it. Pretend you don't feel it. Perform happiness. Eventually implode. Option 2. Let it fester. Become bitter. Resent everyone who has what you want. Become insufferable. Option 3. Acknowledge it. Examine it. Use it. Alright then. Let's go with option 3. When you feel envy, ask, what specifically am I envious of? Not their life. What part of it? Their financial stability? Their relationship? Their career? Their freedom? Get specific. Because once you know what you're envious of, you know what you're missing. And once you know what you're missing, you can decide, is this something I actually want? Or something I think I should want? Sometimes envy reveals desire. Sometimes it reveals conditioning. And here's the kicker. You're allowed to want things other people have that doesn't make you shallow, or materialistic, or morally inferior. It makes you human. Envy isn't the problem. Pretending you don't feel it is, because suppression doesn't make it disappear. It just makes it toxic. Feel the envy. Acknowledge it. Examine it. Then decide what to do with it. Use it as motivation. If it's genuine, let it go if it's not actually what you want. But don't pretend it's not there. You're not a bad person for feeling envious. You're just a person with desires and frustrations and a brain that notices when life isn't fair. That's allowed. And now, a question for you. Who are you secretly envious of? And more importantly, why does admitting that feel so uncomfortable? Drop your answer in the comments. Honest answers only. Subscribe if you've ever smiled and said, I'm so happy for them, whilst your brain screamed the opposite. Overthinking Department, where we don't do emotional bypassing, open 24/7,